A woman boards a flight, expecting an ordinary journey. Instead, she steps into a carefully planned nightmare. A man across the aisle makes small talk. Business or pleasure? She says both. She's a model, while he's a music critic. Then she mentions her ex-boyfriend, a struggling classical musician. His name was Gabriel Pasternak. The critic goes silent. Years ago, Gabriel submitted his thesis to the conservatory. This man was the jury head. He didn't just reject the work, he destroyed it. The woman admits the review broke Gabriel. He stayed in bed for a week. The critic shrugs. Sometimes, he says, one man must be crushed to protect the ears of millions. That's when another passenger recognizes the name. She was Gabriel's schoolteacher. Holding him back a year made him scream and cry uncontrollably. Then another voice, a classmate who bullied him. Then another, a manager who fired him. Then his girlfriend confesses. She cheated on him with his only friend. A flight attendant steps forward. She trained with Gabriel. He once asked her out. She said no. The pieces start falling into place. One by one, passengers explain how they got here. Their tickets were booked by others. Work assignments. Official meetings. A raffle win that couldn't be changed. No one planned this journey. One by one, the truth spreads. Almost everyone on the plane knows Gabriel Pasternak. And almost everyone heard him. A chilling realization follows. None of them chose this flight. Then the final reveal hits. Gabriel Pasternak is the cabin chief. The cockpit door is locked. The pilots aren't responding. As panic takes over, a psychiatrist steps forward. He treated Gabriel for years, until he raised his fees. He calls out to Gabriel, calmly blaming his parents. Their pressure. Their expectations. He begs him to stop. But this flight was never random. Every passenger was selected. This isn't an accident. It's a reckoning. And Gabriel Pasternak is finally in control. On that plane, anger was carefully planned. On the road ahead, anger will be spontaneous, impulsive, and just as deadly. A wealthy businessman is driving through a deserted highway. He's late, impatient, and clearly used to getting his way. Ahead of him, a slow, battered car blocks the road. Annoyed, the businessman honks aggressively and overtakes, insulting the driver as he speeds past. The other man doesn't forget. Minutes later, fate intervenes. The businessman gets a flat tire. Stranded in the middle of nowhere, he steps out, only to see the same car pull up behind him. The driver he insulted steps out. Rough, poor, angry. First, it's just words. Then pride takes over. The poor man humiliates him, pees on car, damages his car, and leaves him helpless. But the story doesn't end there. As the poor man tries to leave, the businessman fights back. He starts his car and rams the other vehicle, pushing it straight into the river. The poor man escapes and runs after him on foot. As the businessman drives away, the poor man shouts a final threat. He knows his license plate. He'll track him down and kill him. The words hit a nerve. The businessman slams the brakes, turns the car around, and charges at him, trying to run him over. But he loses control. His car plunges into the river. Trapped inside, the businessman struggles to escape. The door won't open. The poor man climbs in from the back. The businessman reaches for a fire extinguisher. Inside the car, the fight turns savage. The extinguisher explodes, filling the vehicle with smoke. As the businessman tries to escape, the poor man ties the seatbelt around his neck, strangling him. Then he lights the fuel tank and tries to flee. But the businessman regains consciousness at the last moment, grabs him and pulls him back inside. Seconds later, the car explodes. When the police arrive, they find the wreckage burned beyond recognition. Two skulls, side by side, locked together in death. This wasn't bad luck. This was pride, anger, and the inability to let go. Two men, one road, zero mercy. That road rage ends in fire and ashes. But not every accident ends that way. Sometimes, the real horror begins after the crash, when someone chooses to drive away. Early morning, Santiago wakes his parents in tears. He's done something terrible. On TV, the news reports a hit and run. Pregnant woman has been struck. The driver fled. The family lawyer arrives immediately. Then the news updates. The woman is dead. Hearing this, Santiago's mother breaks down. Knowing her son's fate just grew darker. As the words sink in, Santiago stares through the glass at the gardener outside. An idea forms. Santiago's father makes him an offer. If he admits to driving the car that night and takes the blame for the accident, the family will make sure he gets the shortest sentence possible. In return, he offers $500,000. The family lawyer coaches the story. You were drunk. You took the car. You don't remember what you hit. But during questioning, the state prosecutor notices something wrong. From the driver's seat, the gardener can barely see the road. This car was driven by someone taller, he says. The truth is closing in. Sensing danger, the family lawyer negotiates with the state prosecutor to protect Santiago. Mauricio watches anxiously. Then the lawyer returns with a deal. It won't be cheap. $1 million. But he assures them it's worth it. He knows everyone. The police chief. The judge. He can make it all disappear. Mauricio does the math. $500,000 already promised to the gardener. Now another million. $1.5 million total, he says. The lawyer interrupts. And my fee? He says he's negotiating, risking his reputation. His price, $500,000. Frustrated, cornered, Mauricio agrees. Close the deal. But Jose hears everything. So he asks the obvious question. I go to prison. And I get paid the same as your lawyer? He demands more. An apartment on top of the $500,000. Santiago breaks down. He says he wants to confess. Then the prosecutor adds one last demand. $30,000 more. For operational expenses. Mauricio snaps. I'm already bleeding money, he says. I won't be gutted like this. The prosecutor warns him, decide now or the deal's off. Mauricio fires back. You're already getting $1 million. And you want more. The prosecutor freezes. $1 million. He turns slowly toward the lawyer. Suspicion fills the room. Mauricio finally understands. Everyone is feeding off his fear. Vultures. He stands up. It's over. The deal is off. He opens the door and looks at his son. You want to confess? Go ahead. I gave you the best education. You always did whatever you wanted. So now, go screw yourself. His wife asks what happened. Mauricio answers coldly. They're all vultures. That's what happened. He locks himself in his room, turns on the TV, cranks up the music. The lawyer tries one last time. We'll cover the $30,000 ourselves. Mauricio doesn't even look at him. I don't want to hear it. Get out of my house. Mauricio's wife steps in, trying to reason with him. She says Santiago may go to jail. The gardener is poor, so asking for an apartment on top of the money isn't wrong. Mauricio snaps back. Then who compensates the victim's family? That money should go to them. That's the right thing. He points at the system around him. The prosecutor, this scumbag, earns a salary from my taxes. Let him do his job and investigate. Then he turns to the lawyer. You want to represent my son? Discuss your fees with him. If he can pay, that's between you two. The lawyer leaves. But Mauricio's wife isn't done yet. She asks if she can negotiate. Soon she returns with the lawyer. A new deal. Jose, the gardener, agrees to take $500,000. No apartment. The prosecutor and the lawyer will split $1 million between themselves. Mauricio has had enough. I'll give you $1 million, he says coldly. Split it however you want among the three of you. If you don't like it, get lost. And if you come back with another proposal, I'll file an extortion case against you and the prosecutor. Outside the house, cameras flash. The prosecutor faces the press. The case is closed. The accused is the gardener, Jose. The next story begins on what should be the happiest day of a couple's life. The next story begins with a wedding. Romina and Ariel are getting married. The hall is full. Music, laughter, and champagne everywhere. An older couple approaches the groom. With a smile, they ask Ariel, "There are so many beautiful people here. Are they all your friends?" Romina answers proudly. She points to her own friends. Then she points to Ariel's side. And that's when she notices something. Ariel is speaking closely with a woman Romina doesn't recognize. Too close, too familiar. Romina's smile fades. She remembers something. Months ago, someone had called Ariel's phone. Romina answered. The caller hung up immediately. When she asked Ariel about it, he said it was his guitar teacher. Felt strange. So Romina saved the number. Now, standing in her own wedding hall, she quietly dials it. At table 27, the same woman Ariel was talking to picks up. She looks at the screen. The call is from Romina. Panicked, she laughs loudly with her colleague, pretending nothing is happening. But it's already too late. Romina understands everything. She feels humiliated, betrayed, shattered. Moments later, it's time for the bride and groom dance. Romina confronts Ariel. She tells him about the call, about the number, about the woman sitting right there, his office colleague. Then she asks him directly, "Did you sleep with her?" Ariel admits it. He says it didn't mean anything, that it was a mistake. Romina hears nothing after that. She walks out of the wedding hall. Ariel follows, but she turns away. Romina climbs to the top of the building. She stands near the edge, lost in her thoughts. A waiter notices her. He asks if she's all right. Romina tells him the truth. She just discovered her husband cheated on her with one of their wedding guests. The waiter tries to comfort her. He says time heals all wounds, that love makes forgiveness possible. Romina answers honestly. She no longer knows if Ariel is the man she wants to be with. The waiter shrugs. Then to hell with him. He tells her not to worry about the guests. She's not the first woman at that party to be cheated on. And if she spends her life worrying about what other people think, she's already lost. The waiter speaks honestly. If he were her, he says he'd go back downstairs. Keep the party moving. End it early. Then, at home, tell him it's over. What happened to her is awful, no denying that. But she has to move on. Romina listens. For the first time that night, someone is on her side. She hugs him, feels comfort, connection. In that moment, she crosses a line. Meanwhile, Ariel is searching the venue, desperate to find his bride. He reaches the rooftop and freezes. Romina is there, with the waiter. The betrayal is immediate, brutal. Ariel confronts her. Romina doesn't explain. She orders him to leave. Then she goes further. She threatens him. She reminds Ariel that they are legally married. She knows about every property his father put in his name to dodge taxes. She tells him she'll take everything. She says she'll live her life on her terms, seeking affection wherever she finds it. And when he finally asks for a divorce, she'll fight it. She'll act innocent, play the victim, stand before a judge and swear she's trying to save the marriage, dragging it on forever. This isn't revenge anymore. It's war. Romina doesn't stop. She tells him she'll expose everything. All his secrets posted online for everyone to see. She says she'll make his life unbearable, break him down, humiliate him, until the pain becomes too much, until there's only one way out. And then, when death finally separates them, she'll have everything. Ariel listens in silence. The words hit harder than any blow. Overwhelmed, he turns away and vomits. Romina returns to the wedding hall. She asks the band to start the music. Then she begins to dance, wildly, with her friends. Moments later, Ariel enters. His friends lift him onto their shoulders, trying to keep the celebration alive. But when Ariel looks at Romina, he feels something else. Disgust. Fear. Romina notices. She walks straight to the woman Ariel cheated with, his office colleague. Smiling, Romina pulls her into the dance. She tells her not to worry, that everything is fine. Then she spins her, faster and faster, until they crash into a glass frame. The woman collapses, bleeding. Medics rush in. The music stops. Ariel announces the party is over. He says his lawyer has advised him to press charges. Romina turns on his mother, hurling insults. Ariel snaps. He screams at Romina to stop. He asks what he ever did to deserve this. He breaks down, crying in front of everyone. Romina signals the cameraman. She tells him to film it. She says if she ever marries again, she'll play this video at her wedding. That's the final trigger. Ariel lunges at Romina. Chaos erupts. Romina's mother faints. Ariel's mother is restrained. Ariel collapses, overwhelmed, unconscious. Medics rush to him. One of them checks on Romina, snapping fingers in front of her face. She seems distant. She seems lost, as if she's been acting on pure impulse since the betrayal. Then reality hits, and she comes back to herself. She looks at Ariel unconscious, the man she once loved, and she breaks down in tears. Ariel sees Romina crying. He knows he's partly to blame, inviting the woman he cheated with to their wedding. Suddenly, he pulls away from the medics, grabs a bottle of champagne and drinks straight from it. Romina watches, her rage melting into concern. Ariel takes a piece of the wedding cake. Romina breaks down even harder, overwhelmed with regret. Then Ariel walks toward her. He opens his arms, offers his hand. They begin to dance. Slowly, then they kiss. As the guests quietly leave the hall, Romina and Ariel remain, drawn back together, lost somewhere between love and destruction. The kiss doesn't promise a happy future. It simply acknowledges that love and destruction can coexist, that sometimes passion survives not despite disaster, but because of it. In Wild Tales, the wedding story asks a disturbing question.